Hey, what's going on, Genshin gamers? Today we have, obviously, your boy Wheat, who's been uploading some fantastic Genshin gameplay and just videos in general.
This is Twintendo, also known as James. He's my friend, and he's also a semi-retired poketuber. And this is Ollie, also my friend, and the other twin in Twintendo.
Today we're going to be tier listing all the Genshin characters from 1.6 and potentially the ones revealed from 1.7 or 2.0. We don't really know what it's called at the moment. So that does include Yoimiya, Ayaka, and Sayu. So we're going to be putting them in a tier list. We're going to have a tier list each, and we're going to be showing those tier lists at the end of the video. I doubt we have all the same opinions and ideas of these characters. So, Wheat.
Okay, I'm going to start off with Aether, the male main character. I quite like Aether. I think a lot of people find him a bit boring, but I really like the look of him. I actually also really like what his moves do. I just have never really... Honestly, probably should give him a bit more of a chance.
Would you say you're more of a Anemo or Geo Aether?
I quite like the whole anime stuff. However, having Sucrose and Jean and played quite a lot with both of those, don't really need another anime character. So, but I'm interested to see what his Electro form will be like.
That's true. That's a good point. That is a good point. We still don't know.
Not Sumeru, Inazuma.
So, out of S to D, where would you put him?
Purely on like feel and aesthetics, probably I'd say like B tier, like a strong B. What do you think, James?
So I'll be honest, guys. I ain't a Traveler main. I just thought his anime stuff was really eh. Now I was lucky enough to get Qiqi on my first roll. I think I just switched Traveler out for her, so I've hardly used him. I say he's kind of boring. I actually think he's a really bland design compared to Lumine. I think his Geo gameplay is really fun though. And I think he works well with other Geo characters. I'm going to put him in C. It is a toss-up between C and D, because I think he's very boring for me. But I'm going to put him in C, because I think his Geo gameplay is really fun. Ollie, what do you think of him?
I'm going to make this a really easy decision. Quite frankly, I wish Aether could travel to another game. I don't much care for him. Like, genuinely, if Theatre Mechanicus wasn't a thing, where Geo Traveler actually had some use, I genuinely don't think I would ever choose to pick him. So quite frankly, he's slotting into D quite comfortably. I think Lumine's a much better design.
Speaking of Lumine, go for next. Unlike both of you, I suppose, I actually don't like her design as much. I don't know what it is. She feels quite plain, at least compared to a lot of the other Genshin characters.
I feel like your stance on Lumine is like ours on Aether. It's just like an Uno reverse kind of thing going on here.
Just design-wise, I put her in a C.
Yeah, for me, I think she is better than Aether. She's actually got more like a white dress code to her, really. Brighter clothes, I think. Because like Aether's is kind of like a cream with the yellow, but hers is very pure white, and she's got the white flowers in her hair that match really well. I'd put a low B, I think.
I agree with you. Her design's a lot nicer. I also think for those that pick Aether as the main character, I think she juxtaposes really nicely with the Abyss Order with that white design. Like a pure design with this dark, evil cult kind of thing
that's a good shot.
Like contrasts really nicely. Design-wise, I'd put her in a low B. Her gameplay is just very lacking, so I think I'm going to slot her into a C.
Did you know, I think Lumine has slightly higher modifiers on her basic attacks.
What?
That's a bit weird.
But they also have different attack animations. I think they focus on different martial arts. Next, we're talking about Albedo, the Full Metal Alchemist tie-in. I actually really like Albedo, design-wise and gameplay-wise. He's one of my favourites, I think. I don't know, his character, the story, the whole mystery behind, like, ooh, where's he come
He
from?
came with a great update, didn't he? 1.2.
Yeah.
It's weird thinking he wasn't in from the start. But you think he's fun, you like his design.
His gameplay's really fun, so I think he's probably like a high A for me.
That's a good shout. I have got to agree. I think I would go with an A, and here's why. I think, again, his gameplay is really fun. I did summon for him, and he's just kind of been sitting there and not doing anything because I just never really built him. And I think in the last 2 months I decided to actually just build him because he seemed to be good in the Abyss when I tried that, and he is so much fun. Just putting his elemental skill down, getting that area AoE damage, it can be really big damage if you max out on defense artifacts, which let's be honest, we all know defense appears all the time, so it's quite easy to build for him. I will say the only minus points for him is his in-game model does not his artwork. I think that's really disappointing because his hair is kind of stupid, which like another character which we will get to. So I think he would have been a high A tier. He's going to be my only character in A tier so far, but I think he goes from mid to low A just because his model is lacking in terms of gameplay and design. Really fun.
So Ollie, you didn't start playing until a bit later on, so you don't have as much.
That's right, and
experience.
I'm a bit of a poverty player when it comes to the comparison of Beauty, and the fact that I don't own Albedo. So my experience with him was lacking up until recently, where we had the whole Misty Dungeon
Oh,
sort of
yeah.
exploration thing where he was part of the team, and I didn't know what to make of him until I played that. And do you know what? I actually really enjoyed his gameplay. I think he's a really fun character to play as. I totally agree that I think his in-game model is very lacking. As a character, he's really...
It's not very lacking, it's just his hair, really.
His hair is
Jim,
a big one.
his luscious locks aren't there.
No,
therefore
his
it's
clothes are
lacking.
good. His clothes are good.
Yeah, no, all right, okay, yeah. I've probably been a bit harsh, but yeah, his character's really interesting. He seems really clued in on, the mysteries of the world, and there's a lot of intrigue to him that, I want to know more about him. I want to know more about what he's looking into. While I don't own him, so, I'm not using him all the time, I am slotting him into A tier. I think a really cool character.
The next character we have is Amber, and for her, I don't know, visually wise, I quite like her, and character wise, but gameplay wise, that drags it down so much.
Oh, that's true.
I think
That is true.
if the whole, because she has with the constellations, you can shoot her Baron Bunnies and they explode. If that was in a main kit, I would probably have played her a lot more, because that sounds really fun, like chucking out Baron Bunnies and then shooting them to explode. But
yeah, I agree.
So where you putting Amber?
I don't even think her design pulls her out of D for me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I just really don't like her gameplay.
Fair. Well, this is going to be my first S tier character. I'm not even joking.
Fascinating, isn't it?
I've got her to Friendship 10. I have her at C4 or 5. What I will say with the Baron Bunny thing is, I've been very lucky with Amber. It doesn't really change your gameplay that much.
No.
I find if you know how to do it, shoot the Baron Bunnies, and sometimes they don't even go off.
I think you
And
need a
I have tried to
headshot with
build
it.
her. Yeah, I have tried
Charge
to build her.
attack. It's
I mean, her gameplay is very bad.
Yeah.
I tried to like it. I even got really good artifacts. It wasn't fun. But for me, I really love her design. I like her because I've read the Genshin Impact manga, which she's like one of the main characters. And she's just one of the best girls in the game. I'll be honest. Very good attitude. She's one of the first characters, if not the first character you meet, besides Paimon. She feels like the only one who's kind of really cares for the Traveler. So for me, S tier, just on how much I really like Amber. Gameplay wise, though, it would drag her down. But yeah, I'm sticking with S.
Well, I am not going to go quite as high as you there, Jim.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm sort of in the middle ground between both of you. I really like Amber. So if it was just a character, in terms of personality and, someone who I would get on with, 100% in S. However, because it's a game and we play a said character, I think her gameplay is not great.
So you're putting a B all? You were saying middle ground between S and
she's sitting in B. Really fun character, gameplay, not so much.
And then one of the new characters coming out next update, hopefully, Ayaka.
Yeah, Ayaka. So this one, none of us have played her, obviously. I've seen bits of gameplay. She was one of the characters that was in the beta before the game actually came out. She's been quite anticipated. I still don't know too much about her.
She's from like a noble family.
Yeah, and I think just purely, I can't even put gameplay into. It's mostly visuals, really. And visual-wise, I think she's pretty cool. But compared to a lot of the other characters, I just prefer them. So I think I'm going to put in maybe B, I think.
Okay. She has been someone I've been anticipating for so long. Like, I have been saving up for her since 1.4, I want to say. So because I saw gameplay in beta, she looked really fun. I like her design. For me, she's going to be an A, but I haven't played her. If she plays like how I wanted, how she looks like a lot of fun. A lot of like kind of slash attacks. Got some really cool animations, like sheathing the sword. She could go to S, but I'm going to put her A just because I've not played her. But she's going to high A.
Well, I'm agreeing with Sam on this one. I'm going to put her in B. Mostly because, obviously, I've not played her. Appearance-wise is pretty cool. I haven't seen much gameplay of her at all. Seen little bits of what James has shown me. Combat-wise, looks pretty cool. It's nice just generally having a different style of swordsman in the game. So, for now, tentatively going to put them in B, but as James says, this could change depending on gameplay. So, yeah, I think I'll stick with that for now.
All right, so next we have Barbara, the Deaconess.
Everybody's first C6 character.
C99, I think,
I thought she was okay. Definitely the recent 1.6 quest line, I've got to know a bit more, and I think I like her a lot more now after playing that. She's really good early game when you don't have any other healers. She's kind of like a must-have in your team.
Oh yes, she was. I can see why they gave her out for free.
And like kit-wise, I think if you need a healer, she's really good for that. My main complaint is she gives you the hydro status, which means if you're against ice enemies, you just end up getting frozen all the time, which is really annoying.
Where'd you put Barbara then? What would you say?
Honestly, like a C. She's like character-wise, I really like her. Gameplay-wise, it pulls her down. The whole getting frozen thing,
Yeah.
which happens a lot.
I think this is the first time, Sam, we are gonna agree on.
And the
on
last.
yeah, probably. I have gone for C tier as well. I think her design is plain. Her gameplay is. She can be built, to be a DPS, which is funny, but I just think she's a bit boring. I hate the freeze thing, as you were mentioning. I do think her skin in the 1.6 update, in the summertime one we get for free, is really good. I think it definitely makes it less bland. But I'm gonna put her in C.
Oh, fair enough. She's very vanilla, and it's a good thing I like vanilla ice cream.
You say the weird things, my friend.
I know. I'm just keeping it interesting. I'm putting her in low B.
Okay.
I agree. I think the whole Hydra thing is annoying, and gameplay wise, she's not someone I'd think, I want to put her in my team. But as a character, I really like her. I think she's got some sort of interesting backstory that I hope we get to at some point. And yeah, her summer costume is absolutely wicked.
Okay, time to find a One Piece with Beidou.
Yeah, speaking of B's, Beidou. I'd probably put her, I think, B as well. I do like Beidou. I wasn't too keen on her until I started leveling her up and playing with her.
I haven't played too much Beidou, I'm not gonna lie. I think her design's cool, but I don't really know. I don't remember seeing her too much in the story, and to be fair, yeah, exactly. We are gonna see her in 1.6, like the second half, but I don't really care for her too much. I think the design is really cool, so I do like that. But for me, she goes to C. I'm gonna put her actually behind Barbara. It pains me because I've not really played her yet. She is there waiting to be played. Just not a fan of greatsword users, to be honest. And I've got electro characters. And she's just not one I'm really interested in picking up.
I quite like Claymore users, and she is someone I've not played as yet, apart from the odd test run. But what I've played of her, I really like. I think she's a really unique character. I've got to put her in a B tier for now. Obviously that may change depending on how I feel on gameplay wise, but yeah, a really cool character. I hope we see more of her, to be honest.
So next we have one of my favourite characters, Benny Boy.
Best boy.
He is the best boy. Honestly, I use him as a main carry, but even though he's quit to be a main carry, he's also like the best support character in the game. But if it wasn't obvious, he's an S tier for me. I love Bennett.
Okay, I think he's a really good character. I think
he's like a protagonist for a TV show or something.
A shonen anime.
Shonen, yeah.
Yeah, so for me, I like his design.
Yeah.
I like his gameplay a lot. I have definitely not used him as much as you, but because I've still got to build him. But what I have used of him, which is a fair bit, I do like. I'm putting him in a high A, probably behind Ayaka, but ahead of Albedo. I really, really like him. So he's definitely one of my favorite characters in the game for sure.
He is the complete package. And that's why I'm going to put him in A tier alongside Jim's vote. Very similar sort of perspective on him. I think he's a fantastic character. I think design wise is there's not too much going on, there's not too little. It's like the perfect design for like a wannabe adventurer who's clearly not got the best of luck. You see he's got little bandages here and there. He's not quite S tier for me.
Okay, moving on to Chongyun. I really like this character. His visuals I really like, and also he is very helpful with Bennett or him and Diluc can get lots of easy melts off with those two together. So gameplay wise, I really like him. I would probably put him in like a low A or a high B. I'm not sure yet. I'll probably put him in a high B for now, but he might move up. I really like Chongyun.
Fair. I think I have done his hangout event, but for me, he's like one of the characters I know the least amount, and I think he's just quite bland. I know a lot of people like him. For me, I just don't really care. I've had him. I've got him C6 so early, and I've still not really. I think it is because he is Claymore, but again, just his character, like his design's a bit boring. I like his thing where he has to eat like ice to kind of chill. But for me, he goes into C. I just don't really care for him.
I'm pretty much going to go in the same direction as you, Sam. I actually really like him. I think his design's really cool.
Yeah.
I really like his costume.
Yeah.
I like the fact he's got an interesting profession. His exploits on Wu Wang Hill in the Hangout event were really fun. And he was a character I knew nothing about. And I mean, genuinely, I was like, oh, you're in the game. I forgot about you. And by the end of it, I was like, wow, I really like this character. I hope he shows up more because his sort of time in the story so far has been limited. But really cool. I hope we see more of him, especially if we have like a Halloween event. I'd love to see him, be part of something there. A really cool character. Again, I'm part of the Claymore Brigade, a bit like you, so I'll stand up for him. I'm going to put him in B. I haven't had too much time with him gameplay-wise, but yeah, story and character-wise, a lot of fun.
Another member of the Claymore clan. Next, we have Diluc. An opposite of Chongyun in that he is quite edgy for a different reason. With Diluc, story-wise, I really don't like him. I find him quite a boring sort of generic character. I don't know if anyone agrees.
I'm going to jump in and just say absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. he just drains all the fun out of any time he's on screen. I'm like, okay. He's voiced by someone that I absolutely adore listening to, in Sean Chiplock, who's done so many great things, but his character's just so dull and lifeless. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is more than meets the eye with him, but we don't
I think
know
so as
too
well.
much.
I know in the
Yeah, I
manga
think that's fair.
he has his delusion in the manga, doesn't he, with the chains? I've not read it all, but I've seen that bit. So I kind of hope we see that in the future. He's been carried by his gameplay to like a high C.
Okay.
Well,
I'm just going to jump in now quickly and agree with you, Sam. There's not much more to add. I'm putting him in high C. I think his gameplay is interesting and quite fun, but he's a proper charisma vacuum and not someone I care to see on my screen. So yeah, I'm just going to jump in and say C there.
I do not really care for him. As you mentioned, I really like his voice actor, Sean Chiplock, who's done some of my favourite characters before. But for me, D stands for Diluc. He is going in D tier. His model is bad. That's the worst. I mean,
his hair, him and Albedo are the bad hair brothers.
So bad. I think his personality is very bland. There is going to be more than meets the eye with this guy, so he can definitely go up. The only way is up for Diluc for me. Gameplay wise, I actually think it is quite fun. I remember when the game first came out, everybody wanted this guy because he was
he was very strong.
Yeah, exactly. The top guy. Yeah, exactly. He still is. But for me, I just had no interest in this character from the start, and it's a shame because it could be really cool, just not at the moment.
Someone I think we all like next is Diona.
At least I do.
I like her. I've been using her a lot recently. She's fun. I really like the look of her, and I love how she's kind of cursed to never be able to make bad alcohol, even though she hates alcoholics.
As soon as I got her, I kicked Barbara out the team pretty much. Diona was one of the first to a Friendship 10 for me. Barbara's still not at Friendship 10, which kind of tells us all. She's got great shields. Eiling's very good, and she's just a really cool character. I really like her design. For me, she goes to high B, I think. Did you say actually where she went?
I didn't. Yeah, I'd probably put her in like mid to high B. As well.
Ollie, are you going to join the B club?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Again, Diona is not a character I knew much about until her hangout event, which might shock you because that was fairly recent.
I've actually not done that.
She's a lot of fun. I actually really like her character, and again, she's got like this spicy personality, a bit of a short temper, and she's trying to curve her alcoholic dad away from booze, but then can't stop making great alcohol, which is a lot of fun.
Moving on. Next, we have Chinibio Fischl. Obviously, she's really powerful. Well, I think most people use her as a support. I do, definitely. I know, James, you used her as a main carry.
She was my main character for so long. I feel like I'm the weird one for having her as main DPS.
I have her, as soon as she was like, obviously, I thought she was pretty good. And then as soon as I got her to Constellation 6, which I think she was probably everyone's second Constellation 6 character.
We've been given about 4 free Fischls, so it
feels like at least.
She's great.
But she's really good, I really like Fischl. I think, she's a very high B for me, I think. I really like Fischl. I like her character. My biggest complaint is that conversations with her take so long.
Oh, thank you for mentioning that. So for me, Fischl, she was like my main carry and character from October till March, and I ran as physical DPS because I got the rust so much. Just luckily, it was never on any rate up stuff. I just luckily got it, and I've got 13 at the moment, so I'm known as the Rust Archon for anyone wondering.
Still don't have one.
Yeah, exactly. So, and she can hit dumb numbers for her build. She can hit like 10k if she crits. So she is very, very fun. And with Oz, she's like a minigun basically. So for me, she is an S tier just because of how much I've used her, how much I like her gameplay. However, she is a low S tier because she does not shut up at all. And most of the stuff she says is absolute nonsense. The only times I like it when she's speaking is in like the event with Mona when she breaks character for like the first time. It was so much better. I wish she had more of that.
Yeah, I remember you using Fischl, and all I could hear with a non-stop clicking because you didn't really use the game on site.
Definitely.
Yeah. For me, my experience with her is limited. I agree that she doesn't shut up. Her design's really cool though, so that definitely gets some points. On the previous weapon banner, I ended up getting R5 Rust, so I suspect I will be playing as her at some point, and hopefully we'll be sharing the same sentiment as you, Jim, but for now I've put her in a high B tier.
Next up we have Ganyu, the Coca Goat. I like her visuals. Don't think, apart from her character event, I've never played as her, but obviously I know she has really good charge attacks. Problem for me is charge attack archer is like my least favorite thing in the game, I think. I've not played it that much, so I don't know too much. But from what I did, it was all charge attacks, which is very boring. That's like a low C, honestly, for me.
I pulled Ganyu. I do not regret it. I think the character design is one of the best in the game. For me, she is an S tier based on her design and her gameplay. I don't think it is the best gameplay in the world, but I do love her design. So I think she goes into S tier, probably behind Fischl.
So yeah, I definitely agree with you, Jim. I really like Ganyu. Even as someone who doesn't own Ganyu, great numbers, great design, probably my favorite in the game. Great thighs. She's my first S tier.
Wow.
Oh, really? Okay, that's cool.
So yeah, with Hu Tao, I really like her character, and gameplay-wise, I don't have her, but she looks very fun. And then visually-wise, I think she's really good. But I would probably put her. I'll probably put her an A for now.
I did pull Hu Tao. I was so excited. I will say she hasn't really lived up to the hype for me. I do like her design. So for me, she goes to A tier. She could have been S if she kind of lived up to her expectations for me. Design-wise, I think she's S, but yeah, I'm going to put her an A.
You know what? It's a pity this tier list doesn't have like a triple S category because Hu Tao belongs in there. And I know I did say Ganyu has the best design, but I actually might retract that statement and say Hu Tao. I think Hu Tao's fantastic. Gameplay, visually, character-wise, personality, just a lot of fun. She feels like an absolute goofball on steroids. Staff of Homer definitely helps in that regard for me and why I like her so much. But I think even if I didn't have it, I'd still play as her a heck of a lot.
So moving on to another character, which I think is pretty cool, is Jean. Not to rub it in, but I think I'm the only one here with Jean.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks for that, mate.
Her abilities are really fun. Until I actually had her and was playing with her, I wasn't too sure about her gameplay-wise, but she can hit reasonably well with her basic attacks, but her elemental skill hits so hard. It's like critting for 12 plus K. I think I actually will put her on S tier. I really like how she looks as well.
Yeah.
And she plays really well. And then obviously she heals, which is nice as well.
I really like her design. She is a character I really, really want. But gameplay-wise, from what I played, I remember it being fun, but not like my favorite. But design-wise, she is good. But I'm going to put her high B. Definitely character I want. I think if I do get her, she could go into an A tier.
I'm going to go between you and Sam. I'm slotting her in A. If I wasn't a geneless, scrub like Sam thinks I am, I'd probably put her in S. But because of that, my gameplay time has been limited to the story quest with her, but the fact that you can yeet your enemies into the sun is just reason enough to put her higher up.
Moving on to another monster character, we have Kaeya. I've not played much of him, but from what I have, it's been alright actually. He has a really short cooldown on his skill.
Where would you put him? Where does he go?
I'm not bothered about his looks. I think out of him and his brother Diluc, I prefer him to Diluc, but not by much. I think I put him in C, just above Diluc.
Okay. For me, he is joining his brother Diluc in D. I can't really decide which one I like more. I think I like his design more, but I will say his gameplay I hate, I'll be honest. And I just don't really care for him, so he's a D.
It's a tough one, this. I think I've made the decision of putting him in C tier as opposed to D tier. He's just such a wishy-washy character in terms of his motives and whatever his lore is meant to be. I agree that his design is better than Diluc's. Yeah, he's not someone I particularly care for, so he sits in C tier.
So next we have Keqing. I never really rated Keqing very highly until the Misty Dungeon, a recent event. I like her a lot more after actually properly playing her and knowing how the game works at this point. Visually wise, I think she's okay. I don't like her as much as some people in this group do. But I definitely do like her. I'd probably put her in mid-high B tier for me.
That will change once you pull her. That's fine. For anyone wondering, I'm going to say now she is S tier. She is my main. She's my favorite, probably my favorite character besides one other in the game. And I love her gameplay. I don't care that she don't do the most damage. I think it's really fun. She does good damage. And she's quite flexible in how she can be built. She can be physical or electro. I will say electro is probably the more fun, but I really love her design. And she was actually the first character of Genshin I saw. I think I either saw someone playing it or saw an ad, and I saw her elemental burst being used and her teleporting. I was like, this looks sick. I really want to pull this character. And yeah, I had to wait for her actual banner in March to actually pull her. So what was that, 4 or 5 months of playing until I got her?
I have as many constellations of her as you, James.
Yeah, you've been very lucky.
For my opinion on Keqing, I think she, her design is really cool. I'll say that. I think it's cool that we have a 5-star Electro character. She's fluttering between B and A because I think her design is really cool.
What our next character is known for is blowing things up, and Klee is going to explode away into S tier for me. I really like Klee. She's my favourite character. Gameplay-wise, honestly, it took a while to sort of get used to it, but I really like the charge attack sort of focus that she has with her elemental sparks. I don't feel like anyone could hate her after playing the Golden Apple Archipelago questline. I think she's amazing. I really like Klee. She's cute.
I think it's hard to find anyone that doesn't like Klee.
Yeah, I've not met anyone who doesn't like Klee, and it won't continue with me, and I'm sure Ollie. For me, Klee, she's actually the first 5-star banner character I pulled as well. I like Klee. I think I've still not really built her properly. I really love her design. I put it in A tier. Gameplay wise, I'm not the biggest fan of Catalyst users. Is the one thing that brings it down. But character, I love Klee, and I'm so glad I pulled her. So she is a high A tier.
I really like Klee as well. I don't own her like you two, but she's like this game's embodiment of fun and joy. Gameplay wise, she looks a lot of fun, and from what I've played, I actually quite enjoy her gameplay as a Catalyst user. She's just, you know, a really bright part of this game that's really a pleasure to see every time she's on screen.
Okay, so the next character we have is Lisa, who I mentioned earlier is probably my least favourite gameplay-wise character in the game. Do you guys agree with me with that?
I'm going to keep this short with you.
A hard agree.
100%.
I don't know.
100%, dude.
I think it's because she's so...
She needs an upgrade, big star.
Yeah, I really like her visuals, like with her hat. Like I really like witch hats and stuff. I think they're really cool. But
yeah,
her gameplay just drags her right down. She's the lowest D for me.
Yeah, for me, she is big. The big Ara energy can't even save her. Like,
No,
I was so excited. I was like, oh, when I opened that door to the library in the Knights of Favonius headquarters, you see Lisa for the first time. You're like, oh yes, I'm gonna play as Lisa. Then you play as Lisa. She is.
Oh no.
And you never play as her again. So for me, she is D tier. I'm gonna put her probably the highest of the D tier just based on design, because I actually really like her design.
Honestly, I think I'll do the same.
And I do like her personality. She's kind of like a bit mischievous.
Yeah, I like her personality.
But gameplay wise, I think we can all agree, by far the worst in the game.
Yeah, great design. Her personality is fun. She likes to play around. Unfortunately, I don't like to play around with Lisa. Gameplay is garbage. Sits in D tier quite comfortably.
Another person with a witch hat, however, I think gameplay wise is at least slightly better. Mona.
I like her design.
I really like her design. I kind of, it's gonna make me feel like, I don't know, weird saying this, but I feel like it's too sexualized. I don't know.
Yeah,
it doesn't fit the character.
I agree.
Personally.
I think that's fair. What I forgot to mention actually earlier for Jean, I give her props for being like the only character to like trousers.
Like full,
and I wish,
trousers.
Because she has a title to uphold. That's the thing.
No, I barely played it. I think she was also in the Misty Dungeons. I didn't really pick her that often for them, just because she felt really awkward. The one thing...
Yeah, she's an awkward character.
Before I played it, I was really excited for her unique sprint animation. Then I played it, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's like funky, doesn't it?
Pebble in the road and you get stuck on it. Like, what is up with that?
Yeah.
Which, honestly, is going to be the sole reason she's not in B tier, and I think she's going to be in C tier for me. If she did, even if she just had normal sprinting, she'd be in B tier, I think. But
yeah, I don't know. She's gone low B for me. I think she's between like high C and low B, but I think her design saves her from the C tier, to be honest.
Yeah, I actually agree with you very much so in that, Jim.
So next we have Ningguang, who I really like Ningguang. She's very cool. I really honestly think she was originally going to be the Geo 5-star, and for whatever reason they decided no, let's make her 4-star. I'm going to put her as a high A.
Oh wow.
For me.
She goes to C tier for me, and like middle of C. Probably she goes with her partner Beidou. I just see a lot of people ship those two together. I don't really care for her gameplay. I don't know why. Looking at her, yeah, but even just looking at design, it's like a character I feel like I should care for. I've just never been too interested in her design or her story or anything about Ningguang, and that's really weird because I think she's got an interesting design. It's a good one. I just don't really care for it though. So yeah, I can't really explain it. She just goes in C tier. Gameplay wise though, it's fine. It's not awful. It's definitely better than what it was before some patches. Her attacks never hit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in the middle, just slotting her in B tier. I think she's a really cool character. Design wise, really cool. Her role in the story and her sort of authority over Leeway was really interesting. But I played her, I guess, through all these patches, and her gameplay was very lacking for me. So perhaps I need need to just go back to her and see if she's improved. But Banal sticks in B, a very solid character, which is like the definition of B tier for me.
So we have another Geo character next with Noelle. I really like her character. She looks really cool. The one, sort of my biggest complaint is I don't like her E ability with the shield. It's like you make a shield and then you have to wait for half a minute before you can do anything else again. Yeah, if it was a smaller cooldown, I'd be a lot happier with it, but it's so long.
Design's good. Gameplay could be better.
Yeah.
Where'd you
I think like a mid B.
Yeah.
Mainly for a design. I like it. I think she's good.
I think for me, I really like her design. I think I put her high B. She's close to A. I really like her design, but she could be so much better for me. She's C6, and she's not really fully built. She's built pretty well, and I still think I'm just not going to use her that much. But she's fun, and I like her design. So
is this your highest rated Claymore character?
Yeah, I think it is.
Well, she's 100% my highest rated Claymore character. She's probably my highest rated character.
Really?
She's my favourite character to play as generally,
Lucky
which
town.
might come as yeah. I hear your complaints about the shield, and not much of an issue for me. I think she's absolutely elite, and my team feels wrong when I don't have her in. So absolutely S tier without a doubt.
This is one I'm not too sure about Ollie, but both James and I have been plagued with multiple Qiqi.
Yeah.
I have her at, I think it's C3, which isn't too bad. Every single time I've pulled on a banner, I've lost the 50-50, except once. And
Yeah.
every single time I lost the 50-50, it was Qiqi, except once.
God.
It,
Yeah, you've had the worst luck. But yeah.
But saying that, I actually
100%.
really like her design. I just wish she wasn't like all she is good at healing, but it's the same issue with Barbara in that healing isn't that great.
Yeah. For me, her
After early game.
design is her saving grace.
Yeah,
because her
definitely.
gameplay is by far the worst.
I really love her character
Like,
design.
Her character's great. Design's great. I was so excited when I pulled her, and I was like, "This is my first
Yeah,
5-star."
me too.
I agree.
Besides Keqing, really, and she's not great. So, where would you put her, Sam? 'Cause
I'm gonna put her in high Bs purely for aesthetic
Oh wow!
reasons.
I mean, I love Qiqi, but she goes to high C tier for me. I just think she just doesn't offer much to the team besides healing, and don't really need that anymore with good shields.
We
and,
mentioned earlier, yeah, characters can heal and do something else on top of it.
I'm putting her in B, like mid B. I think her design's pretty good. I used her a lot because James was showing me how pulls works on Genshin, and she was my first ever pull.
And I'm not even joking. Like, it's not even just first 5-star. It was his first pull. Was Qiqi? Which is
Yeah, so you could argue I've been plagued as well, but I suppose it's a bit of good luck, even though it wasn't me pulling. I used her a lot, and I relied on her heals a lot, but once you go to Noelle with that shield, there's no reason to ever play her again. The one saving grace I will say for her is she really cares about the main character and their birthday, and I was really touched by that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
very
like,
cute.
I really like you, Qiqi. I was like,
Yeah.
it's a shame your gameplay is a bit lackluster.
So next we're going to go on to Razor, who was my main DPS. I got him very early on, and I think he was my main DPS character until I got to AR 45, which takes a while. Like looks wise, I don't mind his looks, but I don't know what it is, but his voice acting I really don't like.
I don't like.
But I do quite like him. As
You've
I said,
definitely
I've
used
seen
him the
him
most out of all of us. So where would you put him?
probably just behind Qiqi.
In B.
High to mid Bs, yeah.
I'd say I agree with the voice acting. I really like Todd Habercorn as a voice actor. It just doesn't
Wasn't his
work.
best work.
No.
I don't think it's the voice acting that's bad. I think it's the character archetype doesn't
No, I
give you
know.
much to play with.
I think he's just a really character. I like his looks. I like his powers. It don't even matter his claymore. I just don't really like him as a character though. So he's going to a low C tier for me.
The
Yeah, of
most
course.
annoying thing about him, I think, his ultimate, the stupid purple wall,
Yeah.
covers the whole screen and you can't see anything. It's very annoying.
You've used him. I haven't. So 100%. I'll take that.
For what it's worth, I really like the look of the purple wolf, but
I
not
do.
when
It's
But
just really annoying when you're trying to see
from a
what you're doing.
perspective of watching another player use it, not using it instead is the way to go. I agree, it does take up too much of the screen. I'm going to put him low C. I don't have an issue with his voice acting. I have an issue with his character archetype. It's just not interesting to listen to.
Super.
It's been done time and time again. His gameplay is probably my least favorite of all the Claymore users so far. His ult does look cool, but yeah, again, I'd rather watch someone use it than use it myself. So
Yeah.
C tier it is for Razor.
Okay, moving on to Sucrose. I really like her design as a character. I like how she has, or same with Diona, the little paw print prints on the soles of her shoes. I think that's really cute.
Yeah.
And then gameplay-wise, I think she's really underestimated.
I fully agree. I think she's actually really good.
Especially now, 1.6, Anemo damage, swirl damage is so good now. And I just love the look and feel of her abilities as well. Using her skill to group everyone together, and especially if you have the constellations to give her 2 charges, it feels really nice.
Yeah, I know. I fully echo those thoughts, mate. I think she's a ton of fun to use. I think she looks great as well as a character. There's a little bit of intrigue to her still, whether that remains later down the line when we get a bit of explanation behind her. But currently, I really like how she looks. I agree. I think she's a little too soft-spoken, maybe a little too shy, but she's that reserved in the sense that we don't know much about her, and I hope that changes later down the line. But gameplay-wise, yeah, really cool and really underrated. Fully agree.
Where do you guys rate it then?
I'll put her in
as
a low
go for
A.
it, Sam. Low A.
Yeah.
I'm going high B, but I think she's not far from A. Honestly, I really like her.
I'm not too big on Tsukura, to be honest. I think her design's okay. I'm not really a big fan of her personality or like her character design. I do like the paw prints on the shoes. I haven't used her enough, but for me, she's like mid-C, not too interested in her. But she could grow on me. She's definitely one of them I feel like I need to give a go.
Okay, so next we have Childe or Tartaglia. Since the second banner came around and I pulled him on that, and I actually really like him. He's one of my favorite. I have 3 level 90, which is probably not as many as a lot of people, but that's all I really feel like I need at the moment.
Oh no, I actually have 4. Never mind.
And he's one of them. He's just fun.
You still use him today?
He's always in my Abyss team. If there's a big group of enemies, which often in the Abyss there is, he is almost always the fastest at killing them. If the more enemies he's against, the faster he kills everything. It's ridiculous.
I'm assuming you wish you pulled him on the Abyss around in a way. So
well, he came right after Klee. So
yeah,
I didn't have any wishes. So even if I wanted to, I don't think I would have. I think I like him more than I thought I would when I pulled from the second time around.
He's so unique. I think he's got to be
very unique. Yeah, he's really cool. He definitely has his flaws, and I think if his E's cooldown wasn't such a... Whenever he's in his E, you have to worry about his cooldown. You can't really just let it slip.
That's very fair.
And that's the only reason he's not S tier for me. I think he's high A for me. And I really like his characters as a person.
Yeah.
Like, he's a good villain.
I like him. I've played only in like test runs, and I think we play as him in his story.
You do, yeah.
Yeah, his story was pretty good. Yeah, he's very interesting. Obviously, you see him a lot with the weekly boss, and
that's true.
It feels like I have him because you see him with that weekly boss, even though I've never bought him. I think his gameplay is very unique, and I hope we see a few more characters like that. I think he's a B tier. Probably put him low B just because I've not really played as him too much.
Very dynamic gameplay, a really fascinating story. Sort of perceived villain character that he is, but he's also got a good side to him, as we see with his brother Tutor. So really interesting character. I love fighting him every week as the weekly boss. He's got a really cool design on that front as well. Even as someone who doesn't own Childe, I wish I did, and I put him in low A.
So next we have our first Archon of the tier list, Venti. There's a time where I was like, oh, I don't like Venti, but then he sort of came back in the story and I interacted with him more. I was like, oh, actually he's really cool. I like him a lot. I don't have Venti, but from the trial you get to play them. He's obviously really, really strong.
Yeah, he's top tier in terms of just being a
if
character.
Bennett's a 6-star, he's like a 5.5 star at least. He's so strong.
Yeah, you don't even need an amazing build for him to be good.
Just give him elemental mastery now and clear an Abyss floor on his own.
I think I remember you saying before, like, you're not the biggest fan of his design, or am I wrong on that?
No, I think I like him a bit more now. I think he's definitely grown on me a lot recently. I didn't like him before. I don't know what it was. I don't like his weird sort of diapered pant trousers things.
Yeah, the bloomers are a bit of an
They're a bit
oddness.
off-putting for me. I think that's my least favourite part about him. But regardless, I'll probably put him like a mid-B.
I did pull Venti this on his second banner, and I've still not really built him, but he plays quite nice. I think he's designed okay. I like his hair. Basically, I just don't like his clothes.
I like
really.
his hair.
I agree.
Personality-wise, I really like Venti, very easygoing, which is obviously with the spirit of Mondstadt. So I really like his character. And gameplay is fine. It's fun. His ultimate's great. His elemental burst. I think I put him high B. He's definitely one of my favourite characters when he pops up in a story. Playing as him, not as fun, but it's still good.
I might surprise you boys here. I'm putting him in S tier.
Oh wow,
I mean,
I love his character, and I'm sure my bank account hates him because I had to spend to try and get him. I succeeded. I pulled him mainly because I liked him so much that I figured I would enjoy using him. That's certainly been the case.
So moving on next to Zhongli. I really like Zhongli. Her character, she's really cute and bubbly, and I quite like how she's just obsessed with cooking.
I felt like we saw her a lot at the start of the
We
game.
did early on.
So it feels like I've hardly seen it because you get a free Zhongli, then you have her story kind of quest, and then
It does feel like she's been tossed to the roadside a bit.
Yeah, a bit, unfortunately, yeah. And I remember really liking her.
It's interesting, her story quest, although she's from Liyue, was in Mondstadt.
Yeah,
she feels like a
traveling
Mondstadt
around
character.
Yeah, I kind of hope they show her again in a quest because I think she's really cool.
There's a lot to like about Zhongli, and no spoiler that you guys know that I like her a heck of a lot. She was the first character like I basically used relentlessly before I started building my team. I agree with Sam. I love the fact that she sees adventuring as a means to the end to build her cooking repertoire. I slot her in S. I love her personality. Really like her design. Her combat's a little lacking for me.
Combat-wise, her burst is one of the best in the game.
Yeah, I just don't like Guoba not locking onto the things he should do. I think
very underwhelming.
Yeah, like why can't you lock onto like a lantern when I'm in Dragonsfire about to die? It's baffling to me. But other than that, she remains one of my faves, and she'll always be an S tier for me.
I'm gonna put her mid B.
I will as well. I think
her design's good, but not great. Guoba sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it.
He brings it down a lot.
It's not even
great. So yeah, mid B. I really like her.
Okay, so next we have Xiao.
Yeah, he's very high DPS. I think actually out the three here, I don't have him, but I remember playing him in the trial. I'm like, oh my god, he's amazingly fun to play as.
His burst damage is
jumping. Yeah. And his dash is really fun. So I think he's definitely one of the best characters in terms of gameplay.
The way I've got him built, because he's one of my most built characters, I'd say.
Even his charge attack is unique. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Him and Zhongli are the only speeds that don't have the same.
His charge might be my favorite in the entire game. And that's someone who plays as Hu Tao.
So where would you rank him, like based on design and gameplay, and obviously just personal attachment to Xiao?
He is probably a low S for me. I like him a lot, but he's not. I don't like him as much as the other S tiers I have.
I think I will agree with you there. Combat wise and gameplay wise, obviously absolute elite. Probably the funnest to play as.
I think his edginess brings him down a bit.
A little bit, but I kind of get it with his story, so it doesn't bother me too much. The one thing that annoys me is if I'm idling with Xiao, he bloody frightens the life out of me if I've got headphones in. I'm like, oh cheers mate. Especially if I'm like in a menu, I'm not prepared for it. I'm like, surely we could have gone for another one other than that. Design wise though, the burst with the mask just looks so cool, and the damage output is ridiculously good.
Yeah, for me, I don't have Xiao obviously. Design wise, I think he's okay. I'm not actually I'm not the biggest fan of his design. Like, it's not bad, I just don't think it's anything special. Gameplay wise, I think he's one of the best in the game, so I'm putting him high B. I don't really care for him as a character in terms of design and personality, but gameplay wise, it brings him up massively for me to a high B.
Moving on to another fantastic character, Xinyan. I really like this character. At least gameplay wise, he's so strong. Visually wise, he's not super interesting to me. Don't know if
that was for me my main point. I think he's one of the blandest characters. I actually like. I mean, it's not awful. I like his design somewhat, but I think it is just very basic. It's similar to Chongyun in my opinion. I know they're friends. They're kind of just very plain characters to me. And its gameplay is good.
Brings him down a bit for me.
So yeah, I do agree that gameplay over character style in this case. Where would you put him, Sam? Where do you think?
Like a low B, I think. I really like him gameplay wise, but I'd say like the blandness. I don't know what it is. He doesn't jump out the page as much as a lot of the other characters do.
It's very understated design.
Yeah.
I think
which is part
his
of
character, just personality and kind of fashion sense a bit bland. Kind of like that he wears like shorts and just kind of like his hair's not bad like in terms of design, but he's a high C for me. I think his gameplay is good. I just don't really care for him as a character. Probably put him behind Qiqi, but yeah, he could grow me because I am still building him, but not too bothered about Xinyan.
I actually really like Xinyan, and I am putting him next to his voice counterpart Bennett in A tier.
Wow.
Gameplay wise, like I'm putting low A tier just if anyone wants clarification on that. But still, no, I really like him. He's going to be my next project to build. Gameplay wise, a lot of fun. I actually like his design a little bit, even clothing wise. Not a fan of shorts, but I get it. He's a young lad, but
I mean, I like that bit of it.
No, for sure. Yeah, his attire sort of matches his noble background, but he has like this sort of willingness to escape all of his worldly troubles into the imagination of a good book, which I think we can all relate to. A really cool character. He seems, for me at least at the moment, the coolest and most fun Hydra character to play as, whether that changes or not.
So Moving on next to Xinyan, I would say people were very underwhelmed by her when she came out. And I think they still are. And I think I'll be one odd one out here when I'm probably going to put on a high B. I really like her, mainly more for aesthetic than gameplay wise, but I do think her gameplay is underrated.
I think her aesthetics, I'm not too fussed, but I think it's cool. It's definitely unique. And I like her like rock star kind of,
Yeah.
like it's just like guitar playing kind of attacks. I think that's really cool. I've not really used her too much. She's a Claymore user, so I'll be honest, she's gonna you know where this is going already. I'm looking at my tier list and I see Beidou, Chongyun, and Razor all next to each other in C tier.
C stand for Claymore.
It might as well.
We've been doing this wrong.
I think she could go up for me. I've not really played her too much. She's going mid C. I like her, and I don't dislike her. And I want to make it very clear, I don't dislike any of the characters in Genshin.
Oh yeah.
I just think she's a mid C. I'm putting her in the middle of C, but I've not really played her, so she could definitely go up.
I'm leaning more towards Sam's side of it. In terms of design, I think she's really cool. She nails that punk aesthetic. And gameplay wise, I'm fairly new to her. I played as her in Misty Dungeon for the first time and actually thought she was really cool. I feel like she complements a lot of teams nicely. Someone I am wanting to try out fairly soon. I'm putting her in B tier, probably about low B tier.
So now we go on to a character which I think we'll all agree is one of the best, has had one of the best sort of stories in the game. Zhongli.
Absolutely.
His story quest was by far the best.
I think, yeah, it's so
I think we're all
good.
going to agree on his ranking. Should we
Jeez.
all just say
For
yeah?
Zhongli.
The CEO of Geo, for me, S tier,
Yeah,
and it's
that's same, yeah.
Yeah,
He's,
I don't think we have to explain it too much.
His voice, man.
Oh, Keith Silverstein is a joy to listen to.
Yeah, it's
if anyone
so-
has an Audible account, he does audiobooks and they're fantastic.
I remember me and Sam seeing like beta footage of Zhongli.
Yeah,
like
that's weird,
doing
isn't
his auto attacks kind of suck. I'll be honest.
They
But,
do,
like,
unfortunately.
but they look amazing. Like the fact when he kicks his spear that's in the ground, we saw that and we're like, right, we're pulling
Like,
this.
damn, yeah.
It's so good, isn't it?
And he's just so much fun to play as. Great shields, great ult, great design,
yeah.
great character.
Yeah,
great
his story is so good.
S tier in every department. Every department.
Yeah.
I
also want to know where he shops because his fashion sense
Yeah,
is S tier.
that's very cool. Moving on to another cool character, we have Rosaria. Do you see what I did there?
I did.
That was an ice joke, Sam.
Oh.
No. Can I leave the Discord?
Are you getting chills?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So Rosaria I've been using recently in my team. She's actually really fun. Her E kind of just feels like a budget Xiao E.
Yeah.
Less damage. It hits twice, but it doesn't hit very hard. The idea is that it puts you behind small enemies, but I don't know what small counts as, but a lot of, even like the treasure hunters, it doesn't seem to take me behind them, which is a bit disappointing. Her Q is very nice, and it causes loads of cryo, which is nice for someone like Klee. Can just sort of spam charge attacks, and each charge attack will melt if you time it right with Rosaria's burst, which is very nice. Visually, she's very cool. She's like a goth nun, which I guess is quite unique. I do like Rosaria. I don't know what you guys think.
She's actually the only 4-star I don't have. I really like her personality, as she just does not fit the church, and she just doesn't care. She's just like, I hate my life kind of thing. Her attacks look cool. She's got the stupidest passive, like she walks quicker at night.
Yeah, that's a bit.
I don't
So
care.
funny.
I don't really care for Rosaria. I actually used to think she had long hair until I realized that was her veil. She goes to high C for me. I'd say she's below Barbara, so it's like she's kind of mid C actually, but towards the higher end. I think she's fine. And I guess it helps or doesn't help. I don't have her. So I think if I did, she might be a bit higher up. But
Yeah, it's pretty
like
much
a
where I
low-
stand on it.
Low B for me.
yeah, I don't dislike her at all. But
I'm the same.
I put her in high C. I haven't really played as her outside of the tryout because I haven't pulled her yet.
Okay, so
Okay.
on to another ice or cryo character. We have Eula. This is one I slept on her until I tried out her trial, and she actually seems quite nice.
she's so quick for a Claymore
Yeah,
user.
she doesn't
with her
feel
attacks.
like a Claymore user, and I love how like a lot of her
Exactly.
attacks are one-handed as well.
Mm.
Well, obviously with the character, it's like she's sort of dancing with the sword.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. And,
She's like the most stylish character.
I just didn't care for her, and then I saw her trailer when she dances with Amber, and I was like, just pulling my
I really
credit
didn't
card
like
out my
that.
wallet, and I was like, you didn't like it?
No, felt
Oh, I
really
really
cheesy
liked
to me.
it. It was a bit, but I love Amber's reaction, like, huh?
Yeah,
Her personality, I'm not too fussed how she never
I
really.
really don't like
It's
her.
always like hiding behind lies, and I say lies. I guess she's always
persona.
not speaking what's on her mind. Yeah, it's kind of a bit similar to Fischl's, but not. She never shows her true intentions. Like she cares a lot, but she hides it because she thinks everyone needs to hate her because of her
Yeah.
like family lineage. I think she's really good. I will like her more in time. For me, at the moment she's like mid B. I think think she's probably
I've got
just
her. She's a high C for me. I don't have her, so that I don't really have too much experience with the gameplay wise. I'm not too keen on a character, and I thought her story quest was the worst one we've had yet.
I haven't got around to that yet, so
It's
I
very
can't
boring.
judge. In terms of my opinion on Eula, I really liked her and I wanted to pull her for a long time. It soured the fact that I didn't get her on the first attempt. She's a really cool character. Her attacks are probably some of my favourite in the game. They're so stylish, and the fact that she looks like she's dancing with a claymore is just ridiculously cool. She's about mid-A for me. She may move up to S. I do like her character design a lot, and her personality is quite fun.
So now I'll move on to the last character that's currently in the game as I'm recording this, Yanfei. I don't know, this is another one. I feel like James won't agree with this, but I really didn't like her story quest. I found it really boring.
No, I get that. She didn't really feature much in it. I liked it. I liked it, but
it's
because I like her as a character.
Yeah, I don't know. The best part of that quest for me was Prosy D's voice acting, getting to hear him in the game.
Fair enough.
It just felt like they wanted to cram a story of a legal battle into gameplay.
To then get the teapot.
Yeah,
which is
because
the big update 1.5.
Yeah, and then there wasn't any like actual gameplay in her story quest as well. It was just run and talk to this person, run and talk to this person, run and talk to this person.
What I will say is, at least she had a story quest and it made us like her a bit more.
Yeah.
It's like people like Keqing still haven't had that, and they've had banners. So in terms of character design, what do you think? I think she's.
I really like her design.
She's so good, so good.
Yeah, she's got like the dragon like antlers and scales.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Clothes are cool. I think they could have made it a bit less revealing. I think it would have been a bit better.
Yeah, I'd go with that as well.
Her attacks are fun. Also, like when she does like after a charge attack, she sticks her tongue out a bit like Hu-Tao.
Oh, does she?
I think a lot of people don't. Yeah, a lot of people don't notice.
I haven't really played her because she, at least gameplay wise, she's a pyro carry, of which I have Klee and Bennett as pyro carries, and also she's kind of like a 4-star Klee, at least in my.
I was gonna say I thought she was a budget Klee, but she's basically just pyro Ningguang, to be honest.
But that I also have Ningguang as a carry as well, so it's like I don't need this character. She looks fun though.
I built her charge attack, and she could be
that's
better.
how I would.
She is a bit underwhelming in damage actually, unless you've got like Hydra application. But in terms of character lines and dialogue and personality, if you've ever had her idle animation when she's just reciting laws, it's the funniest thing.
Is it?
She is easily S tier for me. I think her design's amazing, her personality and character's amazing. I have her at low S tier, but she could move up. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna put her mid. I'm gonna put her above Fischl and Ganyu. Just I love her personality. I think it's amazing. Definitely one of my favourite characters.
I'd put her in sort of a mid B for me.
Yeah. What about you,
That's
Ollie?
fair. I'm agreeing with you, Jim. I think she's S tier. I think she's a lot of fun. Just such a goofy and fun character.
So now we have final 3 characters which aren't in the game yet, but they have been revealed. So we'll start off with Kazuha, the Anemo sword user. He looks so cool, and if I didn't have 2 Anemo 5-star sort of characters, I would 100% be pulling for him, but I do. So
I fully agree.
I can't really afford to. He looks really cool though.
His elemental burst is probably
so
the best in the game in terms of visual effects.
It's
Can I
like-
just say,
yeah,
are we
go
all in agreement? He is the Canadian Aether, Canadian Traveler.
Yeah, he is basically
Without
Traveler with Maple Leaf.
I definitely prefer him to Traveler.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that ult is one of the coolest in the
looks so
game
good.
as well.
He does look so similar though. I actually generally thought it was.
Yeah, I like when
Traveler.
because a long time ago, his visuals were and I was like, oh, this is the Fire Traveler.
Yeah, it generally looks like time skip Aether.
His gameplay looks really fun as well. The other thing though, like Xiao, he's sort of focused on plunging attacks, which again I already have Xiao leveled, so it's not worth it to pull for me as someone who has limited Primogen.
I'm going to just say that the fact he looks cool, but I don't know much about him. I'm just dropping him in C tier for now.
Story wise, I don't know.
I think his gameplay looks fun.
It does,
I don't know how useful it'll be when you've got a Venti, but I'm putting him low B. I like his burst is just
wicked.
Puts him in B for that burst.
It's pretty cool, and I was umming and ahhing between B, but I just don't know enough about him.
Yeah.
I think he's a high B for me. It's like I was considering A, but I don't think he's quite A for me.
Okay, Yoimiya time, who made me expected a blonde character for this. There was like so much talk she was like a shrine maiden, so I think your typical thought of that is like black hair.
Yeah, black hair.
When Genshin just like, yeah, here's Yoimiya, and I was like, excuse me? She looks like Kohaku from Dr. Stone.
Yeah, that's the best way
and
to
that's a
describe
good design.
Yeah.
I really want to pull for her, but because I'm saving for Ayaka, probably gonna have to skip. In terms of the gameplay I have seen that is out there, and her design alone, I'm gonna put her low A. If I do play her and actually really like her gameplay even more, she could be higher, but design-wise, she's really, really cool.
I agree. Like design-wise, she's one of my favourites I've seen, I think, so far. I really love the rope sort of bow she has on her back. I think
Yeah.
that's really cool. Reminds me a bit of Orochimaru from Naruto.
This is a very intricate design, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but she looks a lot more detailed than other characters.
To me, she feels like the walking incantation of a Bond festival, if people know what that is.
She does.
You can see, like, with the earrings, like one of those little
the ball.
balls that they would have. Yeah,
I think it's
and
actually
allegedly,
in her hair.
oh, is it in her hair?
I
Right.
think so. Yeah, I thought it was an earring at first, but then I saw a clip of her
That
walking
would
around.
certainly make more sense.
Yeah, it'd be heavy otherwise.
I haven't seen any of her gameplay. From what I've told James, am I right in thinking fireworks are involved as well?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
so-
that's her job basically.
Yeah,
is,
she
like,
sells
charge of fireworks.
So she definitely feels like a summer festival character.
Me,
yes.
she is probably a mid A tier. I really
Yeah?
like how
Oh,
she
yeah.
looks, and I think
Good
it would
job.
just depend on how she plays.
We agree on something again.
I think that she'll at least end up in A for me. I'm really excited for her.
And then
Right,
finally,
final one, Sayu.
Sayu. She looks really cute. I really like the whole idea behind her. She's like a ninja. She's not young. She just stopped growing when she was
I
short.
wonder how old she actually is.
I don't
Like,
know.
she's teen, adult, older.
I suspect
That's
she'll
gonna
be
hold up
like
in court.
An adult. Yeah.
She's a claymore user, but
Yeah,
isn't
that's
her
interesting.
weapons like smaller in design.
Yeah, although I have seen, for example, Diona's bow is smaller than Childe's bows. It's like
Yeah.
sort of a like character's weapon scale with the size. So expected, but disappointing. But she still looks really fun, especially her
Yeah.
skill where she rolls about in like
She
a
turns
big
into like a sonic ball. It's
panda.
kind of
Is it a
just-
panda?
Really?
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
really fun. It looks
Like-
like it's quite fast as well. so-
Yeah.
I suppose I'll just get my ranking out the way. I'm just simply putting her at C tier because I know nothing about her. I'm not normally
Fair
into
enough.
the short characters, but I do like Claymore users. Hopefully I'll get to play as her.
She looks like she's gonna be really fun. I don't know how good she'll be. I think her burst is a heal again.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so she'll be similar to Diona in that. aspect,
Yeah, she
but just a bit more
gives
fun.
me Diona vibes, but instead of shields, it's rolling.
Yeah,
I don't know
I've
how
got
good
her
she'll be.
mid B. She looks like a lot of fun. Whether how useful,
Yeah.
whether it'll be useful or not, waits to be seen. But she's a character I really want to try.
Okay, so we have each other's lists. Talk a bit about what we think. How compare other people's lists.
I've noticed
Yeah.
it's similar between Sam's and Ollie's is they have a big B category. I think I just kind of split mine up a bit more. I think I could have moved some
Yeah.
from C to B, but no, I'm kind of happy with my picks. There's not really many complaints, you guys, in terms of like, sorry, from my point of view, your tier list. I'm not really got
Yeah,
like. There's
I mean,
no real-
personally, I think my picks are the best. So,
I think mine are better.
no, I think we've done a solid job of explaining what we like and perhaps don't like about characters. I think Sam and mine are probably the most similar in aspects, especially in that B category. But
My only complaint is Amber being in D, but I get it, so I can't really complain. Yeah, with Sam's being Amber in D and mine in S, you'd think there'd be a bit more.
I think that's the most interesting pick. of the
Yeah,
night.
I get it though. I get it. She's crap to play as, but I really like her character. So.
I can't wait for the Ether mains to come to the comments.
Yeah,
All 12 of them.
I moved him down to C actually. He wasn't B originally, but I'd just seen all these other characters and my B tier was getting so full that I was like, he doesn't actually deserve compared
He
to
doesn't.
some others. I think I'm the only one. Yeah, both of you have Ganyu in S, whereas she's C for me.
That's
that's
really
good,
interesting. That
And a low C at that.
I'm really
She
curious to
probably
see-
shouldn't
Design-wise,
actually.
she should be a bit higher.
I'm
Do you
actually.
think Diluc is,
I'm moving her up to next to Bona because you are right.
Okay.
She was way too low.
Design-wise, in terms of over
Yeah.
Diluc, what do you guys think watching in terms of tier lists and who your favorite characters are?
Yeah.
Do let me know in the comments below.
Whose tier list do you agree with the most, or if you don't agree with any, where would you put? Who would you have in S tier? That
All I have to do is just post this on Keqing mains.
there. I wonder which one they'd like the most.
I kind of
Yeah.
didn't realize how much I liked and disliked certain characters. I mean, like I said, I like all the characters in the game.
Yeah,
and especially Lisa Up is where I really like the characters. Diluc and Kaeya and the Traveler, they kind of need a bit more reason for me to like them. But
Do you really
yeah.
like
I feel
Razor
like-
Blade?
they're still not bad characters.
So, whose tier list do you agree with the most? Or if you didn't agree with any of ours, who would you put in your S tier? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoy this kind of video, let me know and I'll see if we could do any more, maybe for characters' bursts or just their actual combat capabilities as opposed to just what our personal opinions on the characters themselves are and how fun they are to play.
Do a Genshin fashion review. Who has the best clothing?
Do a catwalk.
Yeah. Appreciate you having us on the channel, Sam. It was a lot
Been a
of fun.
ton of fun. Been a ton of
And
fun. hasn't it?
yeah, hopefully you'll have us on again for some more Genshin Impact goodness.
I've got something in the works. Thanks for coming and thanks for watching and I will see you next time.
Peace!